welcome to this episode of the So Mindful podcast. Oh my goodness, I am so excited. I wanted to speak to this lady for ages, and here she is today. So my guest today is Erica Schmitz of MyBodyModel, and you will have seen over the last few weeks that I've been doing part of the challenge that she set up to create the 3x3 capsule wardrobe. So I totally love the ethos of everything that she does, and I'm so delighted that she's a guest today. So in her own words, in her bio, Erica describes herself as an obsessed garment sewist who founded MyBodyModel, a website which makes customized fashion drawing templates based on your own measurements. So through MyBodyModel, Erica's committed to increasing the visibility and appreciation of our wonderful diversity of body shapes. And we're going to chat a bit more about that because that's really important to me too, and one of the reasons why I love what she's doing. So welcome, Erica. It's so lovely to have you here.
Thank you so much, Jackie. I'm so excited to speak with you.
And so tell everybody, if anyone doesn't know you, then just tell them a little bit about why you set up MyBodyModel and what that gives the people that you work with.
Sure. When I first started sewing my own garments, probably about 5 years ago now, I was looking for a creative outlet in my life, but I also was coming out of a long period of illness and injury. And my body had been through so much. And so sewing felt like a thank you gift to my body that had brought me through so many challenges and had healed in such an amazing way. So it was like a thank you gift. And at the same time, I was completely head over heels with sewing and designing my own clothes. And I think a lot of us are like this, especially in the beginning, where we can't even fall asleep at night because we have so many ideas running through our heads of all the fabrics and all the patterns and all the different combinations or things. There's really an infinite number of things you can make, even with one piece of fabric.
Yeah.
And so I'm a visual person. I needed a way to get my ideas down on paper so that I could really see them and help me make decisions. So I looked for fashion sketchbooks, fashion illustration templates so that I could draw my designs. And I just couldn't find anything that looked like me. There were lots of options in terms of standard old school fashion sketchbooks, which have the long stretched out figure that's 9 head lengths tall, or sometimes even up to 13 head lengths tall. And that's even humans. Even runway models are really only about 7.5 head lengths tall tops. So that it just wasn't useful to me to be able to visualize on my human body. And I did find some sewing specific sketchbooks that had realistically proportioned croquis, but none of them looked like me. So I took the step that I saw some bloggers doing at the time, which was to trace over a photograph of myself. And that actually is harder than it sounds. And I was able to end up with something that worked for me, but I thought, gosh, so many of us out here are sewing our own clothes. There should be an app where you just enter your measurements and it creates a beautiful outline of your body that you can use to design your own clothes. And I would search and search. It actually, over a couple of years, occasionally I would do a little Google search. I thought, for sure this must exist.
Someone's done one now,
already.
Yeah, by now.
It has to be there because I wanted to buy it. And there was nothing out there. So finally, after talking to a few people and sewing friends, and I even did some surveying of the sewing community online and had some focus groups, and this was definitely a concept that resonated with people. And the big test of it was the Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign. And that is where I got absolute confirmation that this is something that people want.
Yeah, great support. Yeah, great interest.
Yeah, so that at the time felt like the hard part. But the hard part was actually the software development, which getting it to the place it is now actually took a few years and lots of testing, lots of trial and error. We've had, at this point, more than 30 testers, ranging in age from their 20s to their 70s. And all heights, all shapes and sizes, to make sure that this product really works. And so we're at a place right now where it's just awesome what we have to offer. One of the fun things you can do is make a paper doll of your body model.
I've seen
so
lots
much
of these.
fun.
Yeah, people do that, don't they?
And if you look up the MyBodyModel 3x3, so it's 3x3 on Instagram, you can see amazing collections of paper dolls and even some videos, which are really fun. And that way you can see how the garments work in combination with other garments, because a lot of times, when we leave the house, we're not just wearing a top or just wearing the pants or trousers, as you would say. Or if we're wearing a dress, oftentimes we need to put a coat over it. So that way you could try out the different garments and how they work together. But by working in 2 dimensions and coloring on paper or on your tablet, there's something that turns off that judgy part of our brains and turns on the creative, artistic side, so that you're looking at the outline of your body and the garments on your body more like an artist or even a kid who's coloring a picture. So you're coming at it with more openness and more playfulness. There's nothing to lose. It's just paper and pen. So you can really take those risks, which even in a changing room in a shop would be maybe scary to try on things, but you can draw them and get a feel quite quickly. For how those look. When new patterns come out, and there's amazing new patterns every month and new fabrics every month, or even every week, it feels like sometimes. Oh, so beautiful. You can draw it before hitting, add to cart. You can draw it on your body model and see how it feels. Does it feel like you? Does this feel like something you would want to wear? You can also think about, oh my gosh, drawing this on my body model, I realize I already have this very similar pattern that I can make small adjustments to achieve the same look. So it's a great way to try on patterns and fabrics from your stash to gain new appreciation for them, as well as try on patterns and fabrics that you might be interested in purchasing before you purchase and try them out.
When you have to draw something out, you do pay more attention to certain aspects that you might have just glossed over when you were looking at it in the mirror. Even like you say, when you try something on that you really like, look where the hemlines fall, look where the sleeves fall, look where the collar falls, look where the, how it sits on you, because it just on the hanger doesn't represent how you talked about it at the beginning, didn't you? It's not, we're not making these things to stick them in the wardrobe. We're wearing these things to wear and to kind of be part of our lifestyle. So it was hard, I have to say. Going back to college was really tough because I didn't draw since school, and I went back really late. And people listening to the podcast, not looking at me on video, I know it's so hard to believe I look so young, but it was quite a while, I'd say. It had been a few years since I'd been back. And and I was rubbish. I was really rubbish at it to start with, but I would totally say just give it a go. And it does improve, and it does improve quickly. You've just got to get used to holding a pencil again, because most of us just use keyboards these days, don't we?
Right, our hands just aren't used to that feeling of holding a pencil. And I definitely recommend starting with a pencil, or there's these awesome erasable pens nowadays that are really fun to draw with as well. But starting with a pencil, you can erase. There's no pressure. There's no one else even has to see. No. The drawing that you make isn't supposed to go hang in an art gallery somewhere. It's really a decision-making tool and a design tool for you. You can spend 3 minutes on a quick sketch of different neckline options, or just trying out different sleeve lengths or hem lengths, or you can spend an hour having a lot of fun just getting the print exactly right, because it can be very relaxing also, and a nice pastime or creative outlet when you don't necessarily have time to start a new sewing project. Your goal isn't to become an amazing artist. Your goal is to design clothing that you love to wear. That's the goal, not the drawing. Although you can have a lot of fun drawing, the goal is the garment.
And to experiment as well. I think, like you said earlier, it's also the permission to just try different things that you wouldn't try on in the changing rooms even, you know, just have a go and be playful with it, and almost try and find the things that don't work, because then you can rule those things out really quickly, and you know when that next pattern comes out and it hasn't got the, you know, I need things that are more fitted, so I know I love a lot of those other patterns, but I'm not going to go for those now, because I know that when I draw them on me, because I'm so short, I struggle a little bit, so I could make them work in a different way, but I tend to go, there's so many choices out there, you go for the ones that are the easy wins, don't you, I suppose, as well. So thank you, Erica, and I'll leave all the details in the show notes for people who want to connect with you and get those special discount codes. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Jackie. This was so much fun. Thank you.